Hi everyone, it's the 26th of September 2021, and today I was looking at uh, undervalued stocks in Thailand. Um, there's a few different metrics that you can use to find undervalued stocks. The easiest one, the easiest one to use is the price of your stock over the earnings for that particular stock that you have. Um, it's an easy formula. So let's say you buy a stock which is 100 pounds, dollars, Thai bahts, whatever units you want. So it's 100, but the earnings is 10. Okay, so then it's 100 divided by 10, which gives you 10. Okay, so then the you're basically paying 10x the earnings of that stock for the one stock that you have. Now let's pretend the share price is 50 and the earnings is 10. That would be 50 divided by 10, which would give you 5. So you'd be paying 5x of the earnings for that one stock. So as you can see, the smaller that number, the better the value. If you get a 1-to-1, then that would be amazing value, which is quite hard to find in other regions. But in Thailand, there actually is a lot of stocks which is undervalued. I'm certain that the main reason for that is because there are not enough players in the Thai stock market. The number of stocks in Thailand, I think it's something like it's under 2,000 different stocks that you could buy stocks and things like that. But also, the amount of foreign money that's floating around in Thailand is not as much. In fact, for the COVID period and into 2021, there is actually some concern that a lot of the foreign money has left Thailand, which they're hoping will come back once the COVID situation dies down and the recovery kicks in. But because of all of that, and because it's hard for foreigners to investigate Thai stocks, a lot of Thai stocks actually has a very good value. Well, So if you're a value investor, you could actually find quite a lot to invest in Thailand. But because there's not enough money coming in to the market, it does mean that the value might be fixed for a long time. That price might be fixed for a long time. So you wouldn't see like massive growth in most of these Thai companies. That's good and bad. Good because it means that your money is quite stable. You don't have to worry about big, um, big lifts or big drops. And it does mean that you're getting more fair value as well, especially if you include dividends into that as well. It's kind of like a nice bank account that you have with the potential for some upside. Right now in September 2021, as the COVID situation dies down and we expect more foreign money to come back into Thailand, it does create some interesting, potentially good buying opportunities for some stocks. So today I looked at what I would call, so this is an easy one to use, it's undervalued growth stocks in Thailand. Undervalued is just where the price per earning is quite low. So here it's like between 0 to 20. And then earnings growth is less than 1. So that's undervalued, low value, price, P over E, that's the same formula that we looked at in the past. But then year over year percentage change in earnings per share. So this is the earnings, so the change in earnings. So here we're looking at 25 to 50% increases in earnings per share, 50 to 100% increases, or over 100% increase in earnings per shares. So what that means is we're filtering for stocks which are growing in their earnings year over year, and the price over the earnings is actually quite low. So you've got lots of good, valuable stocks in here. And also, Thai stocks are very, very cheap as well. Like, if you're looking at like 1 baht, 2 bahts, 3 bahts, let me just go to XD. And then, let's have Thai bahts in here. Let's just do it in US dollars. Okay, so 1 Thai baht is 0.2 cents, I guess, and in pounds, it's actually 2p, 2 pence. So 2 pence, you could buy a stock in Thailand for 2 pence. A stock which is technically the price is very good to its earning, and it's growing its revenue like year over year. And a lot of these stocks pay their dividends to us. You can buy these stocks for like 2p. That's, well, I think this is probably like 3p, maybe 4p. 6p. But it's still incredibly cheap stocks. You could buy large volumes of these stocks, and where they pay out their dividends, you can get quite a lot of dividends for it as well. So it's not a bad idea. Today, I just wanted to jump into one particular stock. It's called ThaiFood Group. Now, I know of this company because I've actually worked with them in the past. And as you can see, they've started trading in 2015, and apart from the big uplift when the stock was first out, when they first started paying their dividends, and it went up to 7 bahts, which, what was it? One baht is 2p, so 7 is going to be 14 pence. It's okay, yeah, great, okay, fine. It has kind of like smoothed out and leveled out kind of thing. During the COVID situation, it went from 4.8 down to 2.6, and then went back up to 4.9, and right now, today, is 4.5. But as you can see, it's quite a stable stock, like no big jumps, no big drops kind of thing. And that's the characteristic that I was trying to explain at the beginning of the video, is that Thai stocks, a lot of them can be quite flat. And the reason for that is because it's not a very, what we call it's not a very sexy stock. It's not like very innovative, it's not very kind of like fast moving and things like that. But the company itself is sound. It has very good operations. It increases its earnings year over year. It pays dividends as well. So if your value doesn't go up or down too much, then you still have that dividend there as well. And the worst, during the worst panic of COVID, it went down to 2.6, and now it's about not even doubled that yet, kind of thing. But as you can see, the stock price will float around about 4, go up to 5, something around there. So it's very unlikely that you're going to lose like all your money in this particular company. Now, as the stock price has kind of like flattened over the past 5-6 years, you can see the earnings for the company has grown year over year. Now, the reason for that is because the company can actually, it's quite a big company in Thailand. It has quite a lot of power, has a lot of ability to control what it does. And this company is a chicken farm, pig farm, I think some poultry farm company. A lot of people consuming meats in Thailand, and they export around the world as well. And they also produce animal feed as well. So the produce from the animals that they grow, which is not used in human consumption, can be used in animal feed, animal consumption. So they have a big business in that as well also. So they have quite a good hold of this industry in Thailand, and that's why the stock price is not really going to do very much. Have a look at the statistics. Let's have a look at the statistics. Price is very cheap, very low numbers here. Price of earnings growing year over year. Revenue 33 billion Thai baht. Profit margins like not incredibly high, but most of that will be paid out in dividends anyway, so you'll see most of that if you're an owner. In terms of the debt, only 14 billion. They have just under 2 billion in cash already. 14 billion is not very scary when you consider that they have 33 in revenue, and they also have in free cash flow money that they have nothing to use on. They have half a billion there, so that they can start servicing that debt. So that debt is not really going to hurt them very much. And in terms of their assets, let's have a look at their. Oh no, it is balance sheet on. Yeah, total assets 26 billion in assets that they could also use to borrow from the back of. So I think the company's fine. I think that they're doing quite well. If you have a look at their financials, poultry, swine, animal feed, other income. So poultry, 17, 16, 16 in 2019, 2020. Poultry, the revenue from the poultry business has gone down by about 1 billion, but they've managed to maintain it in the COVID year as well, which is good. But because it's almost a commodity, isn't it? It's chicken meat, and in Thailand, chicken meat, duck meat, pork meat gets consumed a lot, which is why even during the COVID situation, it hasn't really affected their business. They've still managed to maintain their business. And in the swine area, they've actually managed to grow it by about 1.5 billion. So they've actually done well during the COVID situation. And then over the past 12 months, as we've seen, they've actually grown from these numbers as well. Year over year, you can see they keep on growing. And again, over the past 12 months, 2021, as we can see, they've grown here as well. The rest of the report explains that as well. So increase here, 19%, increase 20%, 21% for the different businesses. So it's a good business. And as I said, it's quite a big business in Thailand, so it's quite stable. It's able to do its own thing. And it pays a nice dividend as well, twice a year. So you can expect that in September and May. Yeah. So your money's probably not going to go, probably not going to disappear with this company. Plus you'll get some cash for it as well. So right now, would I buy this particular stock? I don't know. For me, I would have to see what's going to happen over the next 6 months up until the dividend date in May. Sorry, the ex-dividend date so would be before May sometime. I would like to see what would happen with this figure. If it goes down to maybe closer to 4 Thai bahts, then that probably creates a very good buying opportunity and a better return on better yield as well, return on dividends, because it does look like it's trending down at the moment, and I think that's only because there are so many stocks that are paying dividends out right now. I guess people have moved their money in and around these stocks, so move their money around between them, trying to find the best dividends for now. But after November, so the month of November, December, January, February, and March, really there's no dividends that's going to be paid out in Thailand. So I suspect this is probably going to be flat, or maybe people would want to move their money into something that they think might be growing over the next 3 to 4, 5 months. But then once the dividend season kicks in, I guess this might be an interesting stock again. But the main thing with this stock is that, as I said, the price for this stock, the price over earnings is good, and as the revenues for this company increases year over year, as we've seen, and the stock price hasn't moved, that does mean that we're getting better value for this stock this year than we would have done 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So it is an interesting one to look out for. But there are lots of stocks similar to this in Thailand, which we can look into in other videos as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's all I want to say today. So thank you very much for listening. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.